For this video, we're going to be looking at graphing quadratic functions that are in vertex form. And so again, that is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So the first step is going to be to find and graph the axis of symmetry as a dashed line. Remember, that's just AOS for short. Second, we're going to find and graph the vertex. Thirdly, we're going to find and plot two more points on the graph by choosing two x values smaller than the x coordinate of the vertex. So we'll be creating a chart to find those corresponding y values. And then for step 4, we're going to reflect the points from step 3 by reflecting across the axis of symmetry. And then lastly, draw a smooth curve through all points. So let's look at some examples. So for problem 1, I have that f of x is equal to 2 times x plus 3 squared. My first step is to find and graph the axis of symmetry, my AOS. So remember, my h is what's in here, and it's going to be the opposite sign. And so since I have a plus 3 here, that means I have my h is going to be negative 3. So I always do the opposite of in here. And so I'm going to go ahead and graph that as a dashed line. So I'm going to go to negative 3 on my x-axis and just draw a dashed vertical line. And then nextly, I want to find and graph the vertex. And so my vertex is HK. And so, well, my h, we already know, is negative 3. And now my k is whatever's added at the end, but I see here that there's nothing there. So that means that my k is really just going to be 0. And so that means my vertex is right there on the x-axis. Now I want to find two other points on the left-hand side of my vertex. You could do on the right side as well, and use those to find 2 points and then reflect them to get my full curve. So to do that, I want to plug them in to a table. And so I already know I have negative 3, 0. Now I'm going to have 2 more numbers down here. It doesn't matter which ones you choose. I'm going to go ahead and just go with the 2 smaller ones, so negative 4 and then negative 5. And now to find my y value at those points, I need to plug those numbers in to my function here. And so plugging in for negative 4, I have 2 times negative 4 plus 3 squared. Negative 4 plus 3, I get negative 1 squared, and that's just going to come out to be 2. And now I'm going to do the same thing with negative 5. So I have 2 times x, which is negative 5, plus 3 squared. Negative 5 plus 3, I get negative 2. Negative 2 squared, I get a positive 4. 2 times 4, I get 8. So now I can go ahead and plot these 2 points. So I have negative 4, 2, and then negative 5, 8. So I have a good curve coming on the left-hand side. And now for my last step, I can go ahead and reflect these points across the axis of symmetry. So I see that this point is 1 coordinate away from my axis of symmetry, so I'm just going to do 1 on the other side. So it's reflecting. This is 2 away, so I want to go 2 away on the other side. And so I get this parabola. Let's try another one. So this one I have x minus 4 squared minus 2. My first step is to find my axis symmetry, which I know is h. So there's my h, there's my k. Again, with my h, I'm going to take the opposite sign with what I see. So since I see a minus 4 here, that means that my h is really a positive 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and graph that axis of symmetry. Next, I need to find my vertex. I know my vertex is h comma k. Well, my h we found to be 4. My k is just whatever is added or subtracted at the end. So here I have minus 2 at the end. So my k is negative 2. And now I'm going to go ahead and graph that. So I have 4 down 2. And your vertex should always be on your axis of symmetry. Okay, now I need to find 2 points on the left-hand side. So I already know I have the point 4, negative 2. And now I'm just going to subtract 1. So I have 3 and then 2. And I'm going to plug in those into my function here. So first plugging in 3, I get 3 minus 4 squared minus 2. Well, 3 minus 4, I get negative 1 squared minus 2. Negative 1 squared is just positive 1. 1 minus 2, I get negative 1. And then plugging in 2, I get 2 minus 4 squared minus 2. 2 minus 4, I get negative 2 squared minus 2. Well, negative 2 squared, I get 4. 4 minus 2, I get 2. So now plotting those points, I have 3, negative 1. And then 2, 2. And then to finish this off, I'm just going to reflect these across my axis of symmetry. And so this is 2 away, so that means I can put my other point 2 away on the other side. This point is 1 away, so I can put 1.1 away on the other side. And then draw in my parabola. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Once you have those, you can go ahead and press play and we'll finish out the problem together. So your answer should have been that your axis of symmetry is 2, and that's because we always want to take the opposite sign of what we see in here, and then your vertex is 2, 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. So we want to find 2 other points, so 2, 5. So I'm just going to go 1, 0 on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to plug those in to find my corresponding y values. And so I have negative 1/2 times 1 minus 2 squared plus 5. 1 minus 2, I get negative 1. Negative 1 squared, I get 1. So I just have negative 1/2 plus 5. 5 is the same thing as 10 over 2. So negative 1/2 plus 10 over 2, I get 9/2. And then plugging in 0, I get negative 1/2 times 0 minus 2 squared plus 5. 0 minus 2, I get negative 2. Negative 2 squared is negative 4. And so that leaves me with negative 1/2 times 4 plus 5. Well, negative 1/2 times 4, I get negative 2. Negative 2 plus 5, I get 3. So plotting those, I have 1 and 9/2, which 9/2 same thing as 4.5. And then 0, 3. And then I'm going to reflect those. And so this is my graph. Go ahead and pause the video. I want you to work through number 4 all the way through. When you think you have it, go ahead and press play. So this is what your graph should have looked like at the end of this problem.